Welcome to the Daily Tanya. Today is Monday, the 25th day of Sivan. Let's begin with Tzedakah, Gedela, Tzedakah, Shemekareves Tesageula. Tzedakah brings Mashiach closer. So we continue in chapter 7, a long chapter of the Shar, Hayichud, והאמונה. And the Alter Rebbe spoke about Tzimtzum, Kipshutai or not Kipshutai. We learned yesterday regarding the doctrine of Tzimtzum, where the Arizal said that before God created the world, I'm paraphrasing, it says there was the light, Hashem was filled the entire place, and in order to create the world, Hashem removed his light and to leave a void, the place where the world can be created. And then it says he drew a small, minute line of light, a reduced light, and that's how the world came to be. And this idea of Hashem removing his essential light was an issue that was not understood by some of the sages. And some of them explained this to mean that in the literal sense, that Hashem removed his essential light from this world. Hashem doesn't want to be in places, in low places, in a toilet, in a place which is impure. So they say that Hashem is watching from outside. He created it and he's watching from outside. And Alter Rebbe here disputes this and says this is absolutely wrong to explain this meaning of the Arizal. And he says Tzimtzum is lo kipshutai. The contraction, the removal of Hashem's light is not literal. It is the removal of the revelation of God's light. That it doesn't shine here in a revealed form. But Hashem is in every place. And so yesterday the Alter Rebbe explained it for logical reasons that doesn't make sense to say it otherwise, as we explained yesterday. And Alter Rebbe now goes on to say that this is indeed, we do find in the Zohar. The Zohar brings down place. It says in the Zohar that Leisa Sa Panui Minei, that there is no place void from Hashem, not in the higher world, not in the lower world, and that Hashem grasps everything and nothing grasps Hashem. What does it mean? Nothing grasps Hashem. That Hashem is beyond the concept of being grasped. Later on in the Tanya, the Alter Rebbe brings an example. If you want to describe a very, very, very deep thought, intellectual idea, and you're going to say, oh, this thing is so deep that I cannot hold it in my hand, I cannot feel it, it's not tangible, I cannot feel it in my hand. Obviously, this is an absurd description. Touch does not apply to an idea. So in a similar way, this is to understand the concept that when we're talking about grasping Hashem, the idea of grasping in an intellectual way is Hashem is totally beyond it. I mean, even in this world, we're talking about there's certain things that cannot be grasped directly. Take, for example, the concept you have when you have a transistor, you have a radio. There are certain waves that cannot be grasped with your hearing power. You cannot hear it with your ears. But if you have a transistor that can get those waves and transform it and to make it audible, that you can listen to it. But when we're talking about something from spiritual to physical, certain things don't go, they don't cross the different worlds. It's a different realm completely, altogether. Today, with the modern technology, you have the AI, artificial intelligence. You can have computers that become even smarter than people. But no matter how smart they are, everything what you put in there, whatever they produce is only what you put in there. There's certain things that they'll never be able to transfer. Will AI be able to transfer feelings? Will be able to be sensitive? Will a robot ever be able to be sensitive? Obviously, it's a different world. It's not in that realm. So, just to give us the idea, when we're talking about nothing can grasp Hashem, even the spiritual world doesn't grasp Hashem, because Hashem is beyond it. So if you ask the question, what is Hashem, physical or spiritual? So if you say spiritual, the answer would be wrong. Hashem is not spiritual. Hashem is beyond both, beyond physical and beyond spiritual. You can only say Hashem is spiritual to say that he's not limited in physical limitations. But for the same matter, you can say also that Hashem is physical to say that he's not limited in the spiritual limitations. Because God is totally beyond grasp, beyond understanding. So this what the Alter Rebbe brings from the Zohar. From this we understand. When the Zohar says that Hashem is in every place, that means that there's no tzimtzum kipshuta, there's no literal meaning of Hashem's removal. Hashem is there, except that it cannot be grasped. So let's see inside today's Tanya what the Alter Rebbe says. As the Alter Rebbe v'zeu she'kosu b'tikunim tikunun zayin the leisas aponim minei loy be'iloin v'lo betatoin. And this is what is stated in Tikunim, Tikkun 57 from the Zohar. There is no place devoid of him, neither in the upper worlds nor in the lower worlds. So thus we find it explicitly stated in the Tikkun Zohar that God himself is to be found within the lower worlds, the lowest of which is this physical world. And then in another part of the Zohar, the Alter Rebbe brings another quote. Iyu tofis vekulo v'leis man the tofis bei chulo. And in the portion of Zohar called Raya Mehimna and the Parashas Pinchas, we read, he grasps all and none grasp him. As we explained. He who saveth kol almin chulu v'leis man the nofik mershus elebal. He encompasses all worlds, and no one goes out from his domain up to the outside. And he fills and permeates all worlds. And he binds and unites a kind to its kind, upper with lower. And there is no closeness in the four elements of which this corporal world is comprised, except through the Holy One, blessed be He. He is within them. So within the physical elements, it is Hashem that is there. It is only through His power that these four inherently contradictory elements are bound together. Ad kalashoyne, until here is the word of the Raya Mehemna. And the Alter Rebbe is explaining what that means. When we're saying as no one grasps Hashem, we're talking about even the spiritual worlds, they don't grasp. It's a loy malays man the toughest bay, she'ain mishi itfes basogas lichlei, mikol scholim elyonim, b'mohusay v'atzmusa shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. None can grasp, he means, that there is no one, even among all the supernal intelligences, meaning the incorporeal creatures of the higher spiritual worlds, whose apprehension of divinity is superhuman, but yet none of them who can grasp by means of his intellect the essence and being of the Holy One, blessed being. As it is written in Tikkunim in the Zohar, Stimo dechol sesimin, that he is hidden from all the hidden. What does it mean, hidden from all the hidden? Is hidden from all the spiritual worlds, which are themselves hidden from the physical worlds. And no thought can grasp you at all. So the point being made here is that God cannot be grasped even by the heavenly thought processes of the hidden worlds. There is, however, yet another concept inherent in the words grasp, the ability to adhere and thereby affect a change. Thus, the fact that one cannot grasp God also means that nothing can affect a change in him. So when a person makes something, he will inevitably be grasped by the object of his creation. He will undergo changes in accordance with the particular demands of the object which he is producing. In the case of God, however, his creation of all existing beings causes no change in him whatsoever. They do not hold him, so to speak, in their grasp. From this point of view, the creation of all of the lower worlds is even more telling. For their creation required a greater degree of tzimtzum, contraction, and concealment. Nevertheless, they cause absolutely no change in him. They too do not grasp him. So what does it mean we're talking about the grasping? Alter Rebbe is going to say that just like when we always give an example of the body and soul. Soul is spiritual, body is physical, body is in the soul, gives us life. But in the same time, the soul has an effect on the body, but the body also has an effect on the soul. So that means that the soul is being grasped by the body. It has an effect on the soul in many ways. If the person is sick, doesn't feel well, the soul is not able to function properly. But by Hashem, by God, is totally not grasped by the lower worlds. Hashem, it's a one-way street. It's a one-way direction of influence. It's not a two-way. The soul and body, although the body is way beyond and lower than the soul, but still there is a two-way effect. But by Hashem, it's only one way. Says the Alter Rebbe, "V'gam betachtonim af agav diyu malakol almin." And even in the lower worlds, there are none that grasp him, even though he permeates all worlds and animates them with a life force suited to each individual creature, each individual created being in particular. Nevertheless, it's not like a soul animating the body. Eine kenishmas ha'adam teich gufay, she'hi nitpeses teich haguf, עד שמספעלס ומקבלס שינוי משינוי הגוף וצערוי, מהכויס, הקרירוס, החמימוס, האיש וכייצא. For this vestment is not like that of the soul of a man, which clothes itself within his body and is grasped within it to the extent that it is affected and influenced by changes involving the body and its pain, such as from blows or cold, the heat, the fire, and the like. The body affects the soul. This is why we know remember the story when the Jews were about to receive the Torah tells us that Moshe Rabbeinu had to wake them up. And the question that is asked, why did he go to sleep? Weren't they excited to go receive the Torah from God himself? Why they slept in? As long Sichas talks from the Rebbe about it, explaining it. And the point is that the Jewish people, they knew that the body is affecting the soul. The soul cannot express itself the way the soul is capable of due to the limitations of the body. That's why they figured if they are going to receive the Torah while they are asleep, they will be able to receive more. The body will not interfere in the godly revelation that the soul is capable of receiving. This is also why the prophets, when they would get the prophecy, they would not be most of them at least, they would not be in a regular state of mind. It would be sort of like getting a seizure or something. The body will not be functioning regularly. So it's sort of some kind of out-of-body experience. Why? Because the body does affect the soul. But this is only by humans. But Hashem does animate the world, and yet God is not grasped by the world. The Holy One, blessed be He, however, is not affected by any of the changes of this world. From summer to winter, and from day to night, as it says, it is written, even darkness does not obscure for you, and the night illuminates like the day. And that verse goes on, as darkness, so is light. So by Hashem, there's no difference between darkness and light. Because He is not grasped within the world at all, even though He fills them. That's the end of today's shir. Understanding, giving me a little bit more of understanding. We're talking about Hashem. Hashem fills every little creature. He's here. The essence of Hashem is everywhere. Except we don't see Him. It's not revealed. So we cannot grasp Him, but yet, as the Rebbe said elsewhere, through Torah and mitzvahs, that's when we can grasp Hashem. When we fulfill Hashem's instruction, that is how we do grasp Hashem. So, see you tomorrow, B'ezrat Hashem. Have a wonderful day.